Here are two stories. Let's see, when we mix their energies together, whether they can give an answer to a question that arises. The first is that old story about the very poor man who'd lived in poverty all his life, struggling to sustain his family. Never had he known a full belly or wealth of any kind, but he had a recurring dream, and in that dream, in a place far away, beside a flowing river, there was a great tree, and under that tree was to be found a treasure. So at a time when famine was disallowing him from even sustaining his family with the basic needs, he answered his dreams calling, and he left his family and traveled far and wide, seeking what he had seen in his dream. Oh, he had many adventures, many encounters, many challenges. But finally he came to a place where indeed there was the river, and there beside the river was the great tree. Now he'd carried his spade with him wherever he went, anticipating that when he found the place, he would dig. But just as he was about to put his spade into the earth beneath the tree, a soldier came along and said, "You cannot dig here. This is the land of the monarch and belongs to him. No digging is allowed." But the man said, but I had a dream that guided me here, that said that there was a treasure under this tree. The soldier said, "Dreams, dreams, you dream, I dream. I had a dream too last night. And I dreamt I was in a village, in a place where there was a little house at the bottom of a mountain with a carved door and a brown thatched roof, and beside it there was a big oak tree. And under that oak tree there was a great treasure." And suddenly the man thought, "He's describing my house." And so immediately, taking his spade, he set out back for home. And after being greeted by his wife and family, he went out to the great oak tree and dug. And sure enough, right there, he found the great treasure. But not only was he able to live with graciousness for the rest of his life, but he had gained great wisdom and had become a wealthy, wise man. The second story is about a sheik of a nomadic Bedouin tribe, but he was known for his great hospitality. He had wealth. He had a herd of camels, sheep, but such was his generosity that his herd was eroded away, entertaining, giving hospitality to those who came. So finally, all he had in his possession was one she-camel. Now, as it happened at that time, the sultan of that realm would often go in disguise and travel around to see how the tribes were faring. And happenstance brought it that the Sultan arrived at the Sheik's tent in disguise. But of course the Sheik invited him in, and as the greetings were going ahead, the Sheik indicated to his wife, who of course was hidden behind screens, as was the law of their faith, he indicated to her to go to their neighbor's house to get flour and something that could be created to entertain the guests. But when the wife came back from the neighbor's tent, and it was related to the Sheik that the neighbors had said, "We have nothing to give you. Let he who wishes to give hospitality and has a she-camel do what is necessary." So the Sheik immediately had his she-camel slaughtered so that he could provide a repast for his guests. Now the Sultan in disguise was aware of the sacrifice that had been made to give him hospitality. And so, after the repast, he asked the advisor who was with him to relate to the Sheik that he should come to the mosque on the following day of prayer, because the Sultan would be there with the largesse. So it came about that the Sheik did go to the mosque on the day of prayer. And when he arrived there, he asked, "Where is the Sultan?" And they indicated the Sultan kneeling in prayer at the front of the mosque. And the Sheik realized that the Sultan was kneeling in prayer, beseeching Allah to bring the she-camel to him. But his thought was, there is no need for anyone to beseech for me. I can pray for myself. So taking his prayer rug, he went to a small hill nearby, and laying down his prayer rug, he knelt in prayer with his head on his carpet. And he intoned the prayers of his faith. But as he was getting up from his prayer mat, needing the staff that he carried with him, because age had taken a toll on his body and his knees, leaning on his staff, he found that his staff went deep, deep into the sand. And when he stood up, he dug in that spot, and it opened up for him a great cavern in which there was wealth beyond all measure. So of course the Sheik became a wealthy man again, herds of camel and sheep. He was able again to give out the largesse and hospitality. But one day, the Sultan said to his advisor, "I wonder what happened to that Sheik who slaughtered his last she-camel to give us hospitality, but who did not come to the mosque as he was asked." to do. So they sought out the Sheik, and to their great surprise, around him were the herds of camels and sheep. He lived in splendor, rugs of all kinds from all over, a wealth, hospitality, a feast was offered to the Sultan. After again enjoying this repast, the Sultan asked the Sheikh, "Tell me, from where did all this wealth arise?" So the question that arises, of course, is what was the reply that the Sheikh gave to the Sultan when he asked, "From where does this wealth arise?" Putting these two stories together, mixing their energies, their chemistry, diving deep into our own experiences and awareness. What did the Sheikh reply to the Sultan?